Hello boys and girls, this is AnderZEL of course, and welcome back to another Battlefield 4 video. We got some kick-ass gameplay for you guys here. This is something I haven't been able to upload for a very long time, and it's thanks to the patch that just released. I'm using the FAMAS together with the M1911 and also the M26 MAS, the little shotgun thing you can have under your gun, but I pretty much choose to not have it, or I can't have it on the FAMAS because the FAMAS can't have a underslung rail or slug rail or whatever you call it. I don't know, I'm Swedish. Words is not my friend, or maybe that's not a good reason, but never mind. So this is post-patch gameplay. I've been playing the patch now for about, I would say 7 to 8 hours, and I am quite impressed with about 90% of the changes, and some changes has made the game less good as well, so it's kind of like give and take, but overall it definitely improves the game, and this is why. First of all, the rush maps definitely have some nice changes to them, and you can see that because more servers are running rush maps. I think there's about 10 servers I can pick between now in Europe with good ping for me, and it's quite enjoyable to play most maps. Obviously Operation Locker here is still quite a clusterfuck since it's kind of designed to be like that, so people can kind of feel like, I'm getting suppression assists and that kind of stuff. I'm a noob, I can't aim and get kills, so at least I'm having fun this way, and that's kind of how Metro was back in Battlefield 3 as well. It was like the perfect place for the noobs to go and just kind of lay down with their LMG and just fire a bunch and then hope for suppression assist points, basically. I remember actually a guy I used to do videos with that quit YouTube like 2 years ago, Evil Weevil, a British guy, and he wasn't very good, but he really enjoyed playing with the LMG at Metro just because he got so many points and ranked up and was able to unlock guns and stuff quickly there. So I guess Operation Locker is kind of like one of those maps, I would at least presume. Other changes have been made to a lot of the other maps, like basically almost every single map has had MCOMs moved, even the spawning points moved, and even like the map itself has been changed how it looks like, with for example Hanai Resort that have had both MCOMs moved and also had a lot of cover added in, so you can more easily attack, so it's not as frustrating to attack the beach as it used to be. For example, other maps that have had changes is the flood zone. It has had a big change actually. Now you attack from the opposite direction and most of the fighting actually happens in the city, and then you can flood the city kind of halfway through and that kind of stuff. So I would say they kind of removed one too many MCOMs there. It feels like that map is very short, but majority of the maps are enjoyable and fun to play. The only real rush map I have an issue with at the moment is Sunken Dragon or whatever it's called, the China Rising map, because it is such a goddamn pain to attack there, because you have a bunch of cover, but the thing is that the enemy spawns from the side of the MCOM and you spawn in front of it, and you have no way of really taking out the enemies that are spawning. Like, the thing is, like, MCOM attack should be you spawn in front of the MCOM, the enemy spawn behind the MCOM that are defending, otherwise it becomes very frustrating and hard to actually attack, because even if you win ground, the enemy can so easily get behind you, kill a couple of your friendlies, and then shoot you in the back. It's extremely frustrating, and that's really the only map that kind of needs a little bit of fixing now, at least in my opinion. Obviously you can probably improve a lot of things on a lot of the maps, but that's the map that I think needs the most attention right now. It needs to have some spawn points changed, and maybe some cover added and removed for the defenders, because it's not very enjoyable to play. I would say Operation Locker is more enjoyable to play because at least you won't get like shot in the back as much. That's kind of the thing I like about the rush, that it's kind of like two front lines kind of clashing each other, and if you do really well you can break through at one point and kind of encircle the enemy. That kind of gets removed when it comes to that map, simply because the enemy spawns on the side of them instead of behind, so they naturally have a better chance of actually going behind you, and you have an even worse chance of actually going behind them. So it's kind of like a slow push trying to go forward from cover to cover to cover, and even if you get like, I'm not even lying now, I had 25 kills and 2 deaths, pushed all the way forward to the MCOM, shot everyone there, like 5 dudes all alone, had just one teammate that backed me up, and planted it, and then I get shot from the back by 10 enemies, because the enemy has already killed all of my friends behind me, because they spawn on the side, and then managed to get behind me. So yeah, I think I went on with that a little bit too much. The patch has obviously a lot more changes that are a lot more important. For example, the gunplay. Ooh, the gunplay. Oh, it is so nice. Even the improved hit markers is well welcomed, because now you can really see when you're hitting the enemy, and they're really big and easy to see, especially like if the enemy is close to you. If you're hitting the head, I can swear the hit marker gets bigger, so you know you're kind of hitting the right spot. And if you keep hitting consecutively, like more and more hits after one another, the hit marker also gets bigger, so you know you're actually hitting quite a lot, even if you're firing a weapon that has low damage but shoots a lot of bullets, for example, like with this FAMAS. And I would say the weapons that have really benefited the most here are the weapons that wasn't used much before. The normal vanilla weapons, or whatever you should call it, like the ones that aren't like the M16 and the Ace 23, like the favorite weapons of everyone who is tryhard. Those weapons are still really good, and I would still claim those weapons might be the best weapons to pick up if you want like a good all-around assault rifle. But overall, like, the LMGs are more fun to play with. They seem more accurate, or at least you can more or less feel what you're hitting. You have a better feeling of where you're actually getting the hits with the bullets, and it gives a better visual indication of what you're aiming for and what you're actually hitting and that kind of stuff. So I personally just really love the changes they've done. Obviously, they have not increased the tick rate or anything like that. They haven't done super much with the net coding, quote unquote, but it has been improved, but not to the point where I would like it to be improved. As you can see there, the spawn mechanic, or the spawn protection, is literally almost gone. I think you have half a second of spawn protection when you spawn on a friendly, so you rarely end up in those kinds of situations when you waste all your bullets on someone that just spawned in, because they're only invulnerable for about half a second or even less maybe, so you might waste a couple of bullets on them, so that kind of sucks. But it's definitely a big improvement compared to previously. You also get more FPS. This is something I've noticed. I can play the game now on Ultra and record at 30 FPS and still never drop below 60 FPS, unless if there's like something really big going on, so it's like a lag spike. But those lag spike always causes me to drop under 60 FPS anyways when those big lag spikes happens, but even if I play on low settings. So I don't think that's anything you can do anything about. I think that's something to do with the engine that they need to kind of figure out a little bit more. But overall, you will see an improvement in the FPS you get, so I wouldn't maybe recommend you turn up the graphics, but rather leave the graphics where they were and enjoy the game with higher frame rates, as at least if you're on PC. If you're on console, I don't know what happens, actually. I'm sorry, I play on PC. I hope you guys get better frame rate as well, though. I really hope you do, because we're all gamers and we all deserve to have glorious 60 FPS and 1080p. However, though, I don't think you can have 1080p on Battlefield 4 on the consoles, but hopefully like close to 60 FPS or something like that, or maybe increase graphics. I don't know if this patch even goes out for consoles. I'm so sorry, console players, I have no clue. What other changes have there been made? The weapons, like we talked about, a lot of weapons has been quote-unquote fixed. For example, the pistols, or not the pistols themselves, but the revolver pistols have been fixed. Now you don't get that delay anymore while shooting the Magnum. You obviously still get a delay between the shots, so you fire one shot, then you have to wait half a second before you can shoot the next one with the 44, because if you could spam that like you can spam normal pistols, that would just be ridiculous, because you can do like 300 damage with those 6 shots, even if you just shoot the upper body like in just a couple of seconds, and that would just be kind of stupid. It would be better than like an automatic shotgun, and the sidearm shouldn't really be that good, but the Magnum is just so nice to play with now. Even the iron sights has been improved on it. It's more easy to see. One iron sight I'm still disappointed about is the M1911 that I'm playing with in this gameplay, but the pistols do benefit a lot, especially like the M1911 that previously was a pistol I wanted to use, but I couldn't use it because it was too crappy. with how the game worked at the moment. Now I can actually use it and have a lot of fun with it, and use that little extra damage you get with it, and pretty good accuracy even at range with it. So I quite enjoy it, and also I think it has a little bit higher damage output at range than some other lower caliber pistols as well. Let's see now, what else has been changed? Also reworked how the entire hood system works, so you have a shit ton of advanced settings you can change. You can also change your sensitivity in advanced settings, but I really recommend you don't do that. Only change the normal like sensitivity, like how high or low it is. Don't go in and tweak it anything, because I've heard rumors about there being some issues with that at the moment that isn't fixed yet, so kind of wait with that. But feel free to use the sliders and kind of play around with them to change, for example, how big enemy icons are on your hood, how big the map is, how see-through things are, how easy it is to see them at range and similar things. It's a lot of good changes has been made, so you can make objective markers smaller and less intrusive to the gameplay if you feel like me that they're kind of in the way a little bit. I didn't play with them anything yet here, but I did play with them in CTE previously, and I quite enjoyed moving around the sliders and then making different icons smaller and bigger compared to others. For example, enemy icons bigger and more easily to see, and friendly icons smaller, so I don't confuse enemies with friendlies if a friendly is like behind the enemy, and vice versa, and that kind of stuff. And just overall, like I said, this patch is like 90% good stuff and only like 10% bad stuff. And that's just like my personal opinion really only. The netcode, like I said, has been improved, but you will still get shot behind corners if you're up against enemies that have, for example, 100 ping or more, or if you have 100 ping or more, then you're gonna end up with those situations when you get shot behind cover and that kind of stuff. And I know that fucking sucks, but you can't do anything about that. It sucks playing with someone that has high ping, and it sucks for the person that has high ping. The only thing you can really do is like ask them nicely to go and play on another server, but sometimes that server they're playing on might be the server they have the lowest ping on, and they really can't pick a better one. So as usual, thank you guys for watching, have a wonderful day, bye bye.